All right. I don't care if this is good. I'm just gonna do it. This is literally my first rodeo. So, yeah, this is what I wanted to do. Gang, gang. Cool. Let me move this stuff around. That can stay. That can go here. Is this stuff I'm going to do beforehand next time? Of course. Nothing wrong with being seen trying. You could have also asked. It's a ask or guess. It's the fact that you do neither one that's really tripping us up. Oh, God. Nobody needs anybody to name their frustration, but like, it just happens. I'm really excited to talk about movies. I was going to meet with a friend of mine, but they're sleeping and we all need a recovery time. I've been watching a lot of movies lately. Check it out. Oh God, what happened? I made this shelf. Do you see this shelf? I made it with my own hands and my cousin's tools. But like, these are the movies that I've gotten lately. I've had some of them for a long time. Currently, we're watching Avatar season 2, so that's why it's not in there. And then there's some CDs down there too, and games. So yeah, that's kind of like what I'm working with right now. Oh my God, we're gonna figure this out eventually. Cool. I'm really excited about Matilda. Matilda was one of my favorite movies as a kid. Did every neurodivergent person love Matilda as a kid? Or was it only the people who were feeling like they were expected to read other people's thoughts all the time? What did we watch recently? We watched it wasn't Kiki's Delivery Service. They're going to have a showing of Kiki's Delivery Service at the theater down the street on Thursday, and I got tickets for everybody to go, so I'm really excited about that. What did we watch? Oh, we watched My Neighbor Totoro. I love this movie. My Neighbor Totoro is such a good movie for a number of reasons. We had a Blu-ray version, so we got to see like DVD commentary, the behind the scenes stuff. Miyazaki talking about like the planning and how they came up with the idea. He was talking about how they had the idea for the movie like 15 years before they ended up actually making it. But if you think about it, that was like the late 70s, early 80s, and everybody was like, no villain, there's no story. What are you talking about? Like, what even happens in this movie? Nothing happens. It's a nothing burger of a movie. No, we don't care about this. And so, like, nobody would produce this movie. Nobody would, like, sponsor this movie, let it come out. But he had this story. This girl moves into a house and it's magical. It was so cool. I don't know if you know about this. John Green's got that new book, Everything is Tuberculosis, and everything really is tuberculosis. I don't always trace everything back to tuberculosis, but he does, and tuberculosis plays a role in My Neighbor Totoro. But like everything is connected back to these like this common like problem that we experience, and it is a normal part of life that like it just kind of means something to name it sometimes. And so Miyazaki in the commentary is talking about how the experience of having one of your parents in a sanatorium long term dealing with illness was very common. It's like a really normal thing that happens to people, and we don't really talk about it very much, and it seems like nothing's happening because she's just trying to heal and get better. But like everybody in the movie, My Neighbor Totoro, is on their own inner journey, and the interactions of all these inner journeys that just overlap with one another, the deeper you sit with any one character, the richer their inner life becomes. And it was so precious to me to watch it. Another thing Miyazaki was talking about was that he was trying to romanticize the Japan of his youth, romanticizing like the countryside. And it's so funny. I live in Washington now, but I'm from Oklahoma, and I hate it out there. It sucks. No offense to anybody out there, but full offense to the state of Oklahoma broadly. Uh, Oklahoma sucks, but people romanticize it a lot. They talk about the sky being big, and I mean, I live on a planet. It's round. There's sky everywhere. What do you mean the sky is big? But out here, there's clouds, and the clouds can hang really low and feel close, and I love that feeling. But it is different than a big open sky. So just different little things like that. People will romanticize like big pastures or stuff like that. Miyazaki is romanticizing the countryside, kind of looking at it like kids from the city would look at a rural area. Originally, there was only going to be one girl, but there was two, an older sister and a younger sister, but they're both born in May. For some reason, that was relevant to him. I don't know. He had a different thing about whatever. The relevance to his life is wonderful. Engaging with art that the artist cared about matters so much to me. I had this song stuck in my head this morning. The lyric is, "It might not mean nothing to y'all, but understand nothing was done for me." But Drake is singing that lyric. You know, Aubrey from Degrassi. What do you mean nothing was done for you? Okay, whatever. I wonder who wrote that song. Oh, that's a different song. That's a real hot album, homie. I wonder who wrote it. Oh shit. What is that song? I don't know. Anyway, somebody wrote that song and I really resonated with that line. But the disconnect, how it's Drake singing that line, totally kills it for me. But for Miyazaki to say I'm romanticizing the Japan of my childhood really invites me to romanticize the Oklahoma of my childhood. Fucking hated it there. But to let myself be romantic about my experience because I was the one experiencing it, to let it be magical because it can feel magical. It's like an invitation in this story, My Neighbor Totoro. So the movie like opens up, they're driving and they drive into this place, and I I've been driving around a new place. Like I moved to a new area. I could say new. I moved here like last 2 years ago now. I've been here for a minute. It's not like literally new anymore, but I still feel new. There's like a familiarity that I'm coming into. And whenever you walk around the neighborhood, the people who live there notice. I know that because I notice. So I'm like walking around the different neighborhoods and people notice me there, and we just like get to know who's around. There's like construction happening on the street up in front of my house, and the people who do the construction know who I am because I take walks and ride my bike, and they'll like let me through the construction zone and stuff. It's really sweet. So whenever this the guy and his two kids are driving into the town, they stop and they say, "Hi, we're the last names and we're moving into this house down the street. Come say hi. We are neighbors. This is how I'd like to engage with you." The idea that I could articulate how I want someone to engage with me is like a very new concept. I guess I'm just noticing a lot more now how people kind of tell you how they want you to treat them. Anyway, sometimes they do. Sometimes people just kind of expect to be treated a certain way and you can tell by how they respond to you. It's so weird. Like the difference between interacting with someone who expects to be mistreated versus someone who expects to be treated well, fascinating. Uh, so these people drive into the town. Hi, we are moving in. We're your neighbors, and then they just go along their life because they're picking rice or they're farming rice there. Not trying to interrupt your day. There's this like dance that's kind of happening. Like, hey, I'm in your space and I feel a little uncomfortable about that, but I also like want to be welcomed and I want you to be the one that welcomes me because you live here too, right? And I respect that you're doing your thing and I'm going to go do my thing, but here we are. And it's this like sense of politeness that just kind of breathes. I feel like so much of our society has lost this kind of concept of introduction. We just don't do this anymore. I'm Asha. My friends call me Moss, but I go by Ryson on the internet. I don't know which name I'm going to use here, but we're going to figure it out together. I did introduce myself a little bit. I said I've been watching movies. That's an introduction. Yeah, I'm just at my house. I'm just watching movies and thinking about them too deeply. I got a lot of twisty little thoughts about movies that I need to say to the internet. So that's my introduction. Man. Introductions are so important. Or they're so fascinating, discrete little distinct things. I love this idea of non-duality because non-duality means that like we're not both the same thing. Because there's a manner of seeing it where we kind of are all the same thing. There was this one time, I think it was a TikTok, but Hank Green was answering a question about what the oldest form of life is on Earth. And he was like, depending on how you count it, there's only one life form, and it's been here for billions of years, and it's all of us. Like, what it. Your mom got pregnant, and then you came out, and they cut you off with scissors. Scissors. Not that you'd still be attached, but they cut you out of her with scissors. That's crazy to me. That's non-dual. If I clip my fingernails, that's not a different creature over there. That's me that's over there. There's a way that I am my mother and my father and everyone else who's ever been here, right? That's the idea of non-duality. I like thinking about that because it gives me access to compassion and empathy in ways that are like easier for me to reach for. And then there's this way that I am so very much not those people. Oh God. I am so very much not my mother. I don't know where that bitch came from. I have no idea. That scissors were very final. Goodness. But like that's how mothering is. Whatever grows from you has very little to do with what you were before. It's just kind of happening. It happens like separately in this way. That's the idea of non-duality. Uh, Miyazaki in the commentary for My Neighbor Totoro was talking about how he tried really hard to stay away from traditional Japanese folklore, but traditional Japanese people make up stories about their lives all the time just because it's fun to do that. I don't know. You don't have to be right. Being right is like the least helpful thing to be whenever it comes to like interactions with people. I mean, if somebody's asking you for directions, but like being right only helps if you don't have further context, you know? So they live in this haunted house, and Totoro is there. But the spirits are not out to get them. Granny comes by, and I love what she says about the soot sprouts. She's like, they live in houses where nobody is, and they'll go up to the attic wherever you don't go in the house, and after a little while, they'll decide that you're nice and they'll leave you alone. Because that's the thing. If you think your house is haunted and the spirits are out to get you, you might act creepy and weird and try to get rid of them and be unfriendly and hostile to them. But that's not necessary. I don't know. I just love that idea, like the little mythology of like, you're a good person, right? I don't know. There's this expectation to it. It's such a cute movie. And nobody gets in trouble. So one of the first things that I noticed about the movie is that Mei and Satsuki are just running around, just absolutely running amok. They're not helping with anything. They're running around, they're screaming, throwing things around. They're not breaking stuff. They're not being destructive, but they're also very explicitly not being helpful. And they're screaming at the top of their lungs. That would have been very annoying for my parents. Not have been cool with me screaming like that. But I see people who like let their kids run free and scream sometimes out in public, and I think it looks cute. Just kids being kids and folks being people, and I don't know, it's kind of nice to see the kids be free and unencumbered by some watchful eye to just have their joy and not feel watched or obedient to anything, to just be. Love to see it. But their mom is in the hospital. She's sick. I don't think it says in the movie that she has tuberculosis, but Miyazaki mentions that a lot of kids have that experience of a parent going to a sanatorium for a long time and like being away for a while to heal from that. Uh, it makes sense. You'd move out to the country because that's where the sanatorium is. And if it's going to be 3 to 6 months of treatment and your lease was already going to be up soon anyway, why not? You know. I really like my apartment, but they are doing construction on the road in front of my house. So I'm probably going to move soon. I don't know where, and it's just deeply exhausting to try and figure it out. But there's all these little reasons to keep going, you know? I really liked what Miyazaki was talking about, the Totoros. They're not interacting with the kids at all. They just see them. And it's this story of observation. One of the things that I really, or one of the reasons I like the movie a lot, it gets referenced whenever people are talking about non-Western styles of storytelling that characterize Western storytelling as being conflict-oriented, that there's a rising actions that intensify about a conflict and then like a breaking point and a resolution. And that structure of a story, or like the hero's journey or something like that, as conflict-based struggle, uh, is a particular style of storytelling, and there's this idea that like you could tell a story that didn't have conflict to it. The Totoros never attack anybody. They're not eating things. It's just a girl following her curiosity, and she gets scared, but Granny like is talking about her vegetables can heal people and they're really really good for you, which is true. Eating eating fresh vegetables that's organically farmed does have more nutrients that are more bioavailable. Yes, eating lots of fresh foods that are homegrown outside is helpful whenever you're sick, but it's not like magical properties like what May was thinking Granny was saying. She like takes corn to her mom urgently, thinking that her mom needs the corn to survive or something, and it's just not that serious. This idea that like things can be important and not that serious is a tender place for like a very young part of me, something very very young that wants to know the things that are important urgently, and like detangling that urgency from the sense of all the rest of it is so important in my life and has been so valuable to me to let go of urgency in all these different ways and to just let the things that matter, be important, to care, follow through and put the effort and the energy where it needs to go, but to just let it relax when it's not that big of a deal, to not let it be urgent, to let it all happen in its own time. That's kind of a central theme of the movie, honestly. Uh, the cat bus that comes before the regular bus, Totoro, that freaks them out, but also is surprised that they can see them. uh, they're like in a hurry to get to the house, they're in a hurry to get settled in, but then they like run out of energy and don't really accomplish very much. uh, May running through the area trying to chase the Totoro to catch it, but then for what? To lay on its chest? All this urgency for nothing, just because you feel it. And whenever you feel it and you act on it and you run with all the urgency in your heart, it can take you somewhere, but it's not like productive. It's not the point. I just loved that. I love a movie like that. Where the urgency isn't the point, and like the point is to let the urgency relax, you know? I'm going to click around on some buttons. What did I just do? I don't really know. Oh. I don't know. We're learning things. The thing about your first rodeo is that you don't have to memorize everything the first time. The whole thing about like this ain't my first rodeo, you don't have to have it all memorized by your second rodeo either. I have been making stupid little videos for my friends for my whole life because I think it's funny and I want to. What else have I been watching? Avatar The Last Airbender is really good. I love Toph's character in the second season. Because, like, the first season, you got the trio. Sokka is not a bender, but he's a guy. And he's older than Aang, but Aang's older than both of them. You got Katara, who's a bender, a girl, and like a romantic interest, and then Aang, who's like our main character and our, our hero who's going on the journey. It's a hero's journey type thing. There's this interesting thing about Toph where, I mean, plenty of other people have done the whole essay about like infantilization and power and influence, and she's a really powerful bender because she stayed so focused on basics for so long, and like that's all you really need to be a powerful bender, and the only reason anybody ever does anything other than the basics is because they're bored with the basics. But yeah, having a master who just kept her with basics and breathing exercises probably made her the most incredible earthbender of all time, and probably why she and an airbender Aang got along really well too. But the thing is, she's sassy. She's got an attitude, much like Sokka. Sokka is misogynistic and vaguely racist and deeply problematic, like we all are at times. But he gets away with it because we're so used to being dismissive of how men do that. That when he's misogynistic, you just have to let him, because what are you going to do? Hit him? There's not like an adequate way to punish or to make him feel the impact of his words. He just says that shit and we just have to let him. But then Toph is blind and small and a girl and has run away from home, and she says problematic stuff too, and it's harder to let her. Her first little arc is about she's like, I pull my own weight around here. I'm pulling my own weight around here. You don't have to do anything for me, and I don't have to do anything for you. We're equal in this, because she thinks that's how it goes. It's not. People are constantly doing things for each other. Anything that you do for yourself, someone else can benefit from, and we're all constantly doing things for each other. You go to the bathroom and flush because somebody else is going to come behind you. We do that for each other. And these ways that we tend to each other and take care of each other, being able to do a lot of that is a sign of maturity and having a big capacity. Insisting you don't have to do that is juvenile and childish. And so whenever somebody's that way, what are you going to do? Insist? Like, I don't know. It's hard, but they handle it relationally, which I think is like the only way forward. It was cute. It'd be cool to have another person say stuff, because I get excited. I say all my stuff, and then there's nobody to be excited with me. I'm just kind of tired. Ugh. Yeah. Do you ever see that movie, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers? Oh, it's an old one, but it's funny. It's hilarious to me. This guy goes to town and he's like, I need a plow and I'll trade you these furs. And they're like, okay, cool. Here you go. Here's the trade. He's like, if you know where I could find a wife, I'll take one of them too. And the shopkeeper's like, well, hey now, fella, we don't treat women like that here. And he's like, Okay, bye. And then he goes and gets a wife, and she's excited to be with him. She goes up to the bush, up to the mountains, and she's going to be his little frontier wife. And he's got 6 brothers, and she's furious that he didn't tell her about his 6 other brothers before before they got up there. She was like, I thought I was just running away with you. I didn't know I was running away with 7 men. And I'm like, does that make a meaningful difference to you, girly pop? That's fascinating. If so, anyway, they end up you get 7 brides for all 7 brothers. Spoiler. It's not a spoiler. It's the title of the movie, and it's hilarious to me. They have to go through it takes place in Oregon in the 1850s, and they go into town and they have to go through this pass that you have to be quiet through, or else it'll avalanche. So they go, and all 6 of the brothers fall in love with 6 girls from town who all like them back by happenstance. And then they go in the middle of the night and kidnap the girls, and then bring them back through the pass, and then let the girls scream as their families are chasing them through the pass. And the girls screaming from being kidnapped causes an avalanche. And so they bring the girls inside the house, and Millie is furious at the boys and makes them sleep in the barn all winter. It's hilarious. You sleep in the barn? She's like, you got to take him back home. You got to let him go back home. And they're like, avalanche, snow. You can't get back through the pass until the winter's over. We planned this on purpose. You're like, I suppose. What would you even do? You get kidnapped in the middle of the night by someone extremely sexy, and they're a perfect gentleman. They don't lay a hand on the girls. They never see each other all winter long. The girls are in the house, the guys are in the barn. They never interact. Nobody lays a hand on anybody. But then, like, the snow melts, and the people come through the pass, and they're all like attacking the brothers. Spoiler for a million-year-old movie. They're attacking all the brothers, and then they hear a baby crying. It's Millie's. She got pregnant on their wedding night because she's horny in the frontier, like we all are. And the pastor, the leader of this band, is like, "Girls, we're gonna hang them all, but I know there's a baby here. Whose baby is it?" And all the girls look at each other and they're like, "It's mine. It's my baby. Don't hang my guy. I actually want him." But all 6 of the girls pick all 6 of their guys, and their families don't kill the guys for kidnapping their daughters because the daughters ask them not to. Isn't that sweet? I don't know. It's a very guilty pleasure type of movie. I think it's funny. I want to go smoke, so I'm going to end this. I'm going to do this next week, though. Talking about movies on Wednesdays during my off time sounds fun. So I'm going to keep this up if I can.